Are we recording?
I think we are, yeah. I got unsure.
Excellent.
Did I have a coffee?
Yes, you do.
Oh, yes.
You are, sir.
I lost it.
You think I
Here
won't
it
get you
is.
a coffee? Come on.
I knew you would. I didn't trust myself.
This is it.
Right, here we are.
Here we are.
After a slight delay, we're back.
Welcome back.
Let's
Huh?
address the elephant in the room. Why does this keep happening? Why do we keep... Is this the mic? Yeah.
It's just that it's that four-letter word, baby.
Yeah.
Life.
Oh, life.
Life.
Um,
Sometimes life just comes at you.
the issue is we're both very busy men.
We are.
And when we're not busy, when we have spare time at the same time, when the stars align,
Yes,
statistically speaking, one of us is either tired or hungover.
this is true. Tired, hungover,
Yeah.
or otherwise engaged.
Yes. So today I'm tired and hungover.
Yes.
Uh,
I'm a little hungover, but not so bad. I'm okay, actually.
we couldn't do last night because you were tired.
I was fucked last
Yeah.
night. Yeah, I have had a very stressful 2 weeks. Mostly because I've been sick,
Mm-hmm.
but I've been continuing to go to work. I won't go into the reasons why I had to do it, but it was like basically like I could not take a day off last week.
Yeah.
You know, so I went and did it, and I was just you might hear my voice still. My sinuses, my throat, I was in bad shape, man.
Bad medical shape. Yeah.
Bad shape. No. Did I have a rake of beers yesterday after work?
Oh yeah, yeah.
You bet
You-
your
you
bottom
s-
dollar I did.
You were steaming when you turned up.
I was.
You've developed this habit recently of going to work dressed as a Jesuit.
Yes.
What they called Jehovah's Witness. And
yeah,
then
I'm spreading the good news.
yeah, well, when you get a bit drunk, you turn up and you fully embrace that character and walk into bars where you know no one except us
Yes.
and just start preaching, which upsets the locals.
Somebody's got to do it.
I mean, yeah, someone's got to be that guy.
Someone's got to start bringing some fucking values back into this society. I think. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't know you were ill. I didn't know you were that ill.
I was sick. Yeah, I didn't message you. I didn't let you know, but I was all week. I was on medicine every day. I was on Frenadol. I was on
Love Frenadol.
ibuprofen. I did Frenadol at night. I slept like a baby.
It's great.
Slept great.
Frenadol dreams.
Jesus, man, some intense dreams.
How have I been medically? My arse is okay at the moment.
The arse is up to scratch.
Tell you what's going wrong. Can you see the skin on my face is beginning to fall off? Can you see around here?
Yeah, I get that too, mate.
I don't know what it is.
I think it's the heat, the humidity.
The humidity, yeah. Yeah, I'm getting like mold growing underneath my skin and it's pushing the actual skin off.
It's not good. I'm thinking, so I actually forewent. Is that a word? Forewent? It's not a word. You know where you forego something? You don't forewent something.
We'll adopt it. We can use that one.
It's not a word, I don't think. But anyway, I didn't go.
What, to your hair and beauty?
To use plain English to my hair and beauty appointment this morning. I had booked a hair and beauty appointment.
Yeah.
But I realized that, number one, I've had a long week. I'm tired. I was sick all week. I'm going to take this opportunity to rest. And number two, time constraints.
The last thing you need is someone pandering around your face.
Saturdays, it's go. It's go time on a Saturday.
It's a nice day today. We shouldn't be wasting time in a barber's.
Exactly. So I went to the gym for the first time in 2 weeks. Struggled.
Yeah.
To tell you the truth, but I actually felt good after. And to be fair, I feel right as rain today. I'm still very snottery. Yeah. But I'm better.
Well, that's definitely not a word, snottery. But again, we'll take it in our stride.
And come here. So the arse is grand.
The arse is grand, the face falling off. Google the symptoms, and I've either got something called necrosing fasciitis, which is fatal, or I'm actually dead already. Like, there's a... I don't think
it's funny. It's a funny thing, the old Google of the symptoms.
It's always cancer.
It could be a blocked nose, and you're like, Jesus, I better get the will. I better get the will out.
I tell you what, like if I ever do get ill, I'm not going to the Mayo Clinic.
Oh fuck them.
They're fucking doom and gloom all the time.
1,000%, man.
Like, my finger hurts, and it's like, well, I have to come off.
Well, this is it. Yeah,
you'll have to come off.
That's the end of the road.
And you pay them to cut it off.
Yeah. Say goodbye to your pinky.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again.
Yeah.
Doctors, it's a big con.
Quacks.
Have you noticed?
Quack artists.
Anytime one of them starts their own doctor's office, they call it practice to get round. Because if you say to them like, "Hey, you fucked up here. You've taken too many of my fingers off."
Yeah.
And they go, "Well, just practicing, man.
Just practicing." Bollocks.
Yeah.
It's a legal ruse.
Yeah, it is. It is. They're all con men.
I think you've happened upon something, Tom.
I'd like I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Dream job for me. If I wasn't scared of blood and have debilitating shakes, I'd be a great 16th century barber. Just going town to town, cutting hair and beards, and also performing minor surgeries and dentistry.
Yeah, you think
I'd
so?
love that job.
Why do you say that? Why do you think that would be up your alley?
Well, it's like Lego, isn't it? People are like Lego. Like, it's
People are like Lego.
Yeah, like it's sort of clear what each bit does.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've got a smart mind, like I have, you can sort of say, well, you don't need this one. Take
Yeah.
that bit out, put another bit in, little yellow
Yes.
brick there, little gold brick here.
And that's it.
Yeah, and just rebuild them in a cooler way.
I hear you, Tom.
Go off the instructions. Don't turn the page. Freestyle.
A medieval roving barber, huh?
Yeah.
That's
Just
what you had yourself
as soon as
pinned
I kill
as.
too many people, move on to the next town.
This is it, and just keep moving. It'd
Yeah.
be hard. It would be great. You would be easy to be a con man back then.
Yeah. Yeah.
Easy to be a serial fucking killer back then.
Just do like magician's sleight of hand.
Uh,
Like pull like worms out of people's teeth and be like, oh, got to take all your teeth out. You got worms in the teeth.
Yeah.
Oh, yep, take them, Dr. Tom.
think about that.
Tried
Like
to drink the microphone.
people, some of the and then was medieval times. Like you never even mind the medieval times. The fucking 1970s, people got away with mad shit.
Yeah.
Load of people got away with mad shit. But like, imagine back then. So there's no bloody police force or nothing.
Must have been
The
a lot of
King's- the King's
serial
peace.
killers. Yeah. Just going town to town
telling you.
doing a murder.
They were psychopaths back then for sure. I
Yeah.
suppose they were given an outlet for their psychopathy through the the sort of military excursions and
Crusades, yeah.
crusades and
That's what the
cutting people
Crusades
up
were.
and shit like that.
Just send all the psychopaths to Jerusalem.
Get them, send them on a boat.
Yeah.
Get them the fuck out of here.
Still seem to be doing it these days. I saw Jerusalem in the news. It's not looking good.
Yeah.
Don't know what I do about that situation.
It's a bad one. But here,
Mhm.
listen, we're not going to go into it on the breakfast beers.
No, let's not talk about Jerusalem.
We'll leave Jerusalem alone.
Yeah.
So, to cut a long story short, right? I've been sick / busy at work.
Mhm.
You've been busy at work. You've been traveling.
Yes, been on
You've
business
been-
trips. I've been on fact-finding missions. I've been on holidays.
Yeah.
Spent
So,
most of the last few weekends abroad.
and part of the issue that we have with this podcast is, like, you don't want to be doing a podcast when you're at a really low ebb. You're feeling, you know what I mean? You want to
Yeah.
have a bit of pep in your step.
You need juice.
You need
Yeah.
that juice, baby boy.
I'm running low on juice these days.
Do you know?
Yeah.
And today, I'm halfway through my coffee and I'm feeling juiced up.
You getting juicy?
I'm getting a little
Excellent.
bit juicy, boy.
I mean,
And,
yeah,
like,
I'll
we've-
have to get juicy at some point.
We have to say as well, we've had some heavy weekends recently.
Yeah, there was a big 4-day weekend about a
Yeah.
month ago that really knocked me flying.
Yeah, and last weekend was Eurovision, and we're big Eurovision heads. So we were at young Paul's house.
Now,
watching
there's
that.
something we should talk about. Do you remember at the beginning of the year when we saw the low-calorie lifestyle and decided we're going to lose weight? I've come back around to that idea, and I've found
So,
I thought I'd found, and I'm still exploring it. I thought I'd found a genius way to lose weight.
what's that?
First of all, I'm going to ask you a question.
Fat
When I say,
Tapeworm?
yeah, I want to get a tapeworm. Man. Birthday idea. When I say high-calorie drink,
What do you think of?
what do you think of? What's the high-calorie drink that we drink all the
Like
time?
Beer.
It's beer,
Let's,
yeah.
Let's face it.
So I thought, how can I get rid of beer and still be happy?
Still have those fun times.
Michael drank a bottle of vodka last week
Did you?
at Eurovision. I was drinking vodka.
I saw you were.
Yeah, drank
I
the
was
whole
wondering
bottle.
why you were so bollocksed.
This is it.
Mm.
So the thing with vodka, much stronger than beer.
Mm.
So what I noticed was happening, I'd go from like one drink, fine, I'd be talking to someone pouring the next one. I'd put too much vodka in.
Yeah.
Finish that. The recording stops. It's
Wow.
not even like the rest of the night is hazy.
It's just,
No idea how we got home. I only found out last night we took a taxi together.
did we get a taxi?
Yeah. I don't
remember either.
I don't remember going home. I don't remember who won Eurovision.
I do remember Aya being with us. I remember them two talking, Aya and Andrea, and
I remember
but
nothing.
like me and you, I don't know, we must have been on a fucking different planet. Imagine
Yeah.
the things we were talking about.
I have no
Who
idea.
knows?
I don't know what I'd be saying.
I knew there were certain moments at that night
Mhm.
during the Eurovision party when you and I got lost in like just mad cap nonsense. You know, and
We just
people were looking at
talking
us like
bullshit.
going, "I wish them two would fuck up."
Yeah.
Do you remember we sent the picture into the group chat into our friends? group
Yeah, I
chat?
saw that the next day.
Just being cheeky little boys, like.
Just being chauvinists, but chauvinists with learning difficulties.
Oh my
That's what we
god!
are,
Like
yeah.
that was. I mean, it's just two naughty
I mean,
little
yeah.
boys. Is what we are. I mean, let's tell the truth. Like, imagine we went to school together. Like, we'd have
Be
been
awful.
fucked out of every class. Man.
If I can send a video of us
time.
last Saturday to the Proud Boys, they'll just disband instantly. Yeah, maybe dudes don't rock.
Anyway,
Yeah.
but we keep getting off the subject.
Yeah.
Where yeah, we're addressing the break. I know people have been messaging us saying, "When's the podcast coming?" And no, I say people. I mean, I have like 3 or 4
All
people.
6 of our fans. Yeah.
Yeah, but we are back. We have been inconsistent. We know this. We know it's not good enough. But I would say stick in there with us because in the coming weeks we're going to have more free time.
Yeah.
I've just finished a very important milestone in my work situation, which is going to free me up a little bit. I have one more big thing I need to do, and when that's done,
Mhm.
and then in the summer months we're going to have all sorts of free time,
Yeah.
baby boy. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
there'll be a lull for me as well, so we can do a lot then. I
Do
can
you
put a
have
lot more
much?
effort in.
Sorry to interrupt you, but do you have much? Do you have many holidays left to take?
Got about 20 days. Yeah.
Lovely. So you can sprinkle them around summertime, like do you
Well,
know?
my work naturally tapers off in summer anyway.
Yes, so
So
yeah.
there'll be like entire weeks where no one's asking me what I'm doing. So I just have to sort of be near my laptop,
Hmm.
and that'll be it.
Exactly. So what? Cut a long story short, there's more coming, and we're gonna innovate. We're gonna regenerate. What's another eight?
Extrapolate,
We're gonna We're gonna extrapolate
differentiate.
and differentiate.
Yeah.
So get ready. Fucking hold on to your britches
Yeah.
because the boys are coming fast and hard.
I mean, I'm going to clip this bit, and then in 3 weeks' time, when we've done nothing, just release it.
Um, but yeah, we have some irons in the fire. I'm think now. We're thinking it may have to be a little bit of an audio experience. Our first outing
Yeah.
could just be an audio experience. Would you be up for that, or does it have to be video? Do you think?
Well,
I'm open either
we
way.
we can sprinkle video in with the old phones.
Phones,
Yeah.
and some of it could be audio. Because I'm
Yeah.
thinking, with remember we talked about doing reviews and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and we trips and stuff like that. I think that would be very funny.
Yeah. I'd like to do that.
And
Fact
like
finding
people can come
missions.
with us and all, but as long as we
Mm.
get an opportunity to, I suppose, to record and stuff, we'll think about it anyway.
We'll figure something
It's
out.
food for thought. There's more content on the way.
We'll do some stuff in summer, yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. But
Anyway,
anyway, any other crack with you, Tom? How was your travels?
I want to talk about Poland.
Poland.
Poland is a very strange place. It's it's like a budget country.
It's a budget country.
Yeah, it's really weird. Like everything is super cheap there.
Yeah.
For a reason, I think. Like it's
Yeah.
really nice.
Okay. Be careful.
But I'm trying to think how it can be. For example, I went on a booze cruise
Oof.
in Poland. A
Lovely.
boat. It was sold to us as you take a boat up the Vistula River, unlimited free booze for 2
Excellent.
hours. Get on the booze cruise, and we're sitting there drinking. And I say to the guy who's organised it, "When does the boat leave?" And he tells me, he goes, "It doesn't leave."
It just stays in the river.
Yeah,
It doesn't move.
yeah. So you're essentially just drinking on a floating bar.
Yeah.
And I
That's
go,
weird.
"What's the deal with that?" And he goes, "Well,
Fuel costs.
yeah." He
The
says,
Rutschkis.
"What you pay us, we do 2 packages. You either have the booze cruise with unlimited booze for
Yeah.
free, but it
Mhm.
doesn't move, or you have to pay for the booze, but the boat does move. You can't have both."
Jesus Christ, huh? It's a bit of a head scratcher.
How's that for a package?
Yeah.
And then I was walking around the historic old town of Warsaw,
Mm-hmm.
saying it's very nice. And I got talking to one of the guys who runs an Irish bar there, and he goes, "Oh, it's all fake.
It's all fake.
The entire old town of Warsaw was bombed in World War II, so they rebuilt it in the 60s to look like it's hundreds of years old.
Ah, of course.
But it's all fake. It's all made out of mica. It's all falling apart."
Oh dear. Mica's no good. Like
I know.
that's,
That was a strong topic of conversation last night. The mica nightmare in Ireland.
Oh yeah, man, big time. Loads of people affected by
Yeah.
that. Their fucking houses falling apart.
But surely, if you found some sort of way of injecting stuff into the concrete and it ate the mica and replaced it with something stronger, you'd be a millionaire. Buy old shitty
Cut this out of
houses.
the podcast.
Okay, yeah.
The boys are going to the laboratory.
Breakfast Beers Construction Limited.
I'm telling you right now, we're
We'll
getting
buy
our
old mica
goggles on,
houses.
we're getting our thinking caps on, and we're going to make serious bank.
But
That's a
so
good idea.
you can't get mortgages to buy the mica houses, right?
I'm not fully versed on it, but our friend who we're going to see later on,
Mhm.
he'll be able to inform us better.
Okay.
Paul.
Yeah.
He knows all about that.
He
stuff.
knows his mica.
Yeah.
Anyway, you got a gripe this week, Michael? Anything being gripping you griping?
So my gripe's a bit vague.
Go
this
on.
week,
Yeah.
but it's something that's been on my mind a little bit lately, and perhaps we can have a dialogue about this.
Yes.
So what I wrote down was unwarranted solemnity, right?
What's that mean?
Uh, to make it more simplified, people who take themselves too seriously and take situations too seriously. Like the
Okay.
situation is like requires you to be super serious all the time and very blah, 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 very matter of fact and blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
And they can't allow themselves a moment of levity, a moment of you know, a moment of sort of wondering at the vast uh, expanse of time and space that we occupy, rather than getting wound up about something that's, you know, something that'll pass that we can overcome. You don't need to get your knickers in a twist. I know it kind of sounds counterintuitive because this is Mike's gripes,
Yes.
and I'm griping about people who take themselves and certain situations far too serious.
I think what you're talking about is jobs worths.
So here we go.
Yeah.
Now we're talking. Now we're cooking.
So I think there's a disease that affects people when they get promoted from, like, like if you're working in a shop or a
Yes.
restaurant and you get promoted from sort of like
Shop floor to
from drone to supervisor.
supervisor.
When you become a supervisor, what you're describing happens to you.
Yes.
Because I've in my younger years, I worked, sort of mindless jobs,
Yeah.
and occasionally someone from the drone pool
Ah.
would get uplifted.
Yes. Elevation.
Yeah, and it was because they were good, and they were like, man, yeah, they give me a promotion, you'd be happy for them
Yeah.
because they're your mate, and you've had days where you just fuck around together, like
Yeah.
have a little fight in the forest with mud if you're
Yeah.
working in the gardens, or
This is it.
if you're in a restaurant, like racing around and stuff, or
Yeah.
farting on the customers without them knowing, that kind of stuff. I didn't do that.
Real wacky
I didn't
stuff.
do. Yeah. Anyway,
Dennis the Menace.
and then they get promoted, and they're cunts. It's like,
Yeah.
listen, guys, we have to start taking this a bit more seriously. We're not bringing in enough money, and it would be really good if we could try and hit the million mark this year. But
These
hey, man,
pricks.
what happened to you?
I know. Yeah.
And you just
You
hate them.
used to be cool.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And you just encounter it, especially in the professional sphere. You're right. Like
Hmm.
these people that like it's there's a certain moment where people have to realize the job you're doing is not trying to solve world hunger.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You're
Yeah.
not splitting the fucking atom, right?
Yes. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, come on, the fuck here. Let's everybody take a wee moment, chill the beans. We're gonna solve this problem. We're gonna be cool about it because we're cool people. All right, we've got
Yeah.
brains. We've got, you know what I mean. Let's not. But people get super wound up and shouty
Yeah.
and it's so serious. It's like relax, would you?
Yeah.
Relax.
The amount of like supervisors and managers I've had
Ah,
who have just been like, we need to start taking this seriously, and then they'll talk about. You say to them like, hey man, when it gets to 5 o'clock, why are you
mm,
still here?
mm,
Like, you should at 5 o'clock drop what you're doing. If you're talking to a customer, stop mid sentence, turn
yeah,
around and walk out. And they're like, well, no, because I keep impressing the higher ups, and if I keep working
yeah,
harder, like maybe I'll go on to regional managers. Like, hey, here's the deal:
mm,
you haven't got a degree, they won't
yeah.
promote you.
This is the thing, and people place a lot of stock in climbing the ladder and all that kind of stuff. Like, and to be fair, it's a good thing to be rewarded with a promotion, for example, for your hard work and endeavors.
Mm,
But I don't think that automatically then gives you the right to just be fucking miserable and
yeah.
serious all the time. It's the
Also,
seriousness I'm trying to get at here.
the ladder's an illusion.
People need a fucking a bit of levity. We need some more levity in this world.
The ladder doesn't
You
exist. You have
know.
to. You don't climb the ladder. It's like Donkey Kong, man. You can climb the ladder like a little bit, but then you have
Hmm.
to run sideways to another ladder and climb that one. Then run
This is
back
the thing.
across. Like, you know.
And as they say, I heard it. This is a good one. I stole this from Hardy Bucks.
Hmm.
This old rat race we're in. I mean, you win the rat race, but you're still a fucking rat, right?
Yeah, I
You know
like
what I'm
that. Yeah,
saying?
that's very good.
You hear me?
I hear you.
So I know it was a bit airy fairy that gripe, but I think it will resonate with some people.
That's a good gripe.
And if you've got things that you'd like to add to that, or you'd like to, tighten up that gripe a bit, send us it in, send us a message, interact with
I
us.
did tell you. I think we have a few new fans,
New fans?
friends I made on my various travels,
Well,
and
I would love to hear
yeah,
that.
you've gone down very popularly, and one of your gripes got a good review.
Did it?
Let me see if I can find it.
my ego is swelling.
I mean, we're gonna have to cut this bit out as I
Nah. Come on. Here,
wander
do you want
through it.
a
Yes, yeah, just put it
can
here a
of red
second.
red
I'll be
standard?
right on it.
Australia Dam sponsor the podcast. They should be sponsoring us, shouldn't they? And Starbucks. We'll get Starbucks on the blower.
Oh yeah, your annoyance with American tourists overseas is very relatable. Says a
Yeah.
well-travelled friend of mine.
Yeah, people like that one. And to be fair, I don't want to be. I do want to say, and it's not just the Americans who are guilty of this, but they tend to be the loudest, so they're the most noticeable when it
Yeah, I
comes
was
to
having
things
a
like this.
completely separate conversation. I can't remember who with the other day, and they just like it came up naturally in the conversation. Like just Americans overseas are so loud.
Yeah, loud people there.
They are very loud. Bless
But
them.
to be fair, and I know Americans that live here, and they're lovely people. Like, don't
Yeah.
get me wrong.
One of
But see, once you get a few drinks in them,
one of the best friends of a podcast is an American, but he's not very loud, even though he looks
nah,
like he should be loud.
Yeah, he talks very
Very quiet,
low, doesn't he?
but you always hear him.
Oof, you'll hear what he says.
Yeah,
You fucking better listen to him.
yeah.
There's a
Yeah.
man you don't mess around with. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, no, I'm glad to hear that. So these were some pals of yours that you were on the trip with, right?
Yes, yeah.
That's cool.
In Poland.
Thank you for that. I appreciate that. That guy who said that.
Yes.
What's his name?
Jack.
Jack.
Friend of
Fair
the
play to
podcast, Jack.
Fair play to Jack.
What have we got here?
I haven't got my glasses.
Oh,
Right, my glasses.
movie ideas. Have I got some movie ideas for you?
It's that time again.
It is that time now.
Tom's movie ideas.
I've also just been writing down
What have I got here?
funny visuals that pop into my head. So for
Yes.
have you seen Mad Men?
Mad Men? I haven't. I've heard of it.
Yeah, you're familiar with.
I've seen. Is that Don Draper?
Yeah, you're
fella?
familiar with the
I'm
character
familiar
Don
with him,
Draper.
Yeah.
I was laughing the other day just at the idea of an incontinent Don Draper.
An incontinent Don Draper.
Yeah, so he's like pitching things in the marketing room, like pitching how important stuff is, but as he's doing, he's pissing himself. But he's just so confident that he ignores it, and like all the other people are staring at him, and he still manages to sell it to them. And then his boss is like, "By God, Don, you've done it again! You pissed yourself and managed to pitch it. The customer bought it."
That's very funny, man. That's very funny.
We sell this to the women because they are the ones who just a piss patch on his suit.
Great suit.
Stephen Hawking replaces his electric wheelchair motor with an F1 12-cylinder engine.
Oh,
So just him going around Cambridge.
zooming.
Yeah, super fast.
You've got a fascination with Professor Hawking.
Yeah, well, I
it's
think
fair to say.
yeah. People always think he's super clever, but I think if I was like that, I'd probably think about nothing else except black holes.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did he do the math though? Because he couldn't move. He
There's
must have
ways
done
and
it all
means.
in his head.
Well, there was no fucking counting on your fingers for that boy.
No,
Huh?
no, there wasn't.
It was all up there in the noggin.
Oh, here's an idea. He's Spartacus.
He's Spartacus.
He's Spartacus. Yeah, a mentally deficient man is tricked into admitting he's Spartacus and then crucified.
Oh shit.
So it's the scene from I'm Spartacus where they go, I'm
him.
Spartacus.
He's
I'm
Spartacus.
They go, you do. I'm Spartacus. And everyone goes, yeah, he is actually Spartacus. And he's like, no, I'm not. And then he gets killed.
Oh, they just accuse someone else.
Yeah.
Scapegoat. Classic scapegoat.
Captain Hanks, just mix all the Tom Hanks movies blended into one. I don't know.
Captain Hanks.
So it's like Captain Phillips, where he's on the cruise ship, but then also like the plane's crashing at the same time.
I want to touch on something there
Yeah.
just for a moment. We won't go too far into this. Are you aware of certain stories that are floating around about himself?
That's Tom.
Mm.
No, is he?
No, I was in a corner of the internet one time, and I think it was Reddit, and I saw some boys making some pretty.
Now, Michael, there's probably a strong chance that this theory you read on Reddit was written by myself. Yeah.
Well, that explains it then.
Yeah. No.
Well, we'll not give it airtime. Perhaps there's zero evidence.
I mean, I've had suspicions, but they're like most of my suspicions based on absolutely nothing.
What about Epstein's list, though? Have you seen that list of people that were on that fucking
It's a
plane?
big list. It's a strange list. There's some weird people on there. Chris Tucker. What's he doing?
Do you know what I found mad as well? Noam Chomsky met him a pile of times as well. Him and Noam were tight. What the fuck's going on
I
there?
would have called Noam without that list. He's got one of them faces for it.
Not at all. Noam Chomsky.
So it's one you
Don't
least
be going
expect.
there. Surely not.
Here's one for you. 101 Alsatians. A
Ah.
dystopian retelling of the Disney classic. This addresses one of your gripes. Badly trained dogs.
Ah.
It reaches a critical point in Paris.
Yes.
and it's kind of like 28 Days Later, but with dogs. It's huge packs of wild, badly trained dogs roaming
Yes.
Paris, ripping people apart.
I'm convinced that's going to happen in Barcelona one of these
Yeah,
days. The dogs are just going to
they're
take
going to take
over
over. Yeah,
because the people don't control their dogs.
yeah,
They don't know how to fucking manage a dog.
that's
You know
what
what I'm
it'll be.
saying?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
So it's set in Paris. It's 101 Dalmatians, but they're Alsatians, all badly trained. It's Cruella de Vil.
Yeah.
Is like the female lead character that movies need and deserve. None of this woke bullshit. Like
No.
she's like the new Ellen Ripley,
Yeah.
the new Dr. Sattler.
She was class.
Yeah, and it's like an absolute Oscar bait.
Mm.
Real good star vehicle for the lead actress.
I hear you.
Yeah.
And she's not making jackets out of them this time.
Oh
is she?
no, just butchering them.
Just butchering them.
28 Days Later, our generation's Ellen Ripley, Oscar vehicle to a Best Actress awards. Ask me who stars as Cruella de Vil.
Who stars as Cruella de Vil?
RuPaul.
Yes. yes.
We got
Love
here.
it.
Superman Origins. Superman leaves his dying planet and lands in Kent, England. Unfortunately, the spacecraft on which Superman arrives to Earth is classified as a small boat, and he is immediately put in a detention center and charged with illegal entry. He escapes, works on a building site before he is arrested and sent to Libya.
Arrested and sent to Libya.
Yeah. I just think...
Libya? Oh, because they think he's from fucking...
Yeah, because they think he's an illegal
He's
immigrant.
a lad who's...
I have a theory about politics and Superman and Batman.
Okay.
You can tell which way the world is leaning. Like, is it sort of right-wing politics or left-wing politics by who is the most popular superhero at the time out of Batman and Superman?
Interesting. Continue. I'm enjoying this.
So Superman,
Mhm.
because Superman is cool. It's an immigrant story, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he comes from outside, he comes in.
He's like an illegal alien.
Yeah,
I
but
suppose.
he's what the left wants immigrants to be. Like, they come to our country and they do good, even though, you know, everyone goes on about, oh, we don't want these immigrants coming in,
Yeah.
but they're like doctors and like...
He's like a projection
engineers.
of the subconscious.
Yeah,
of the left.
He's the strong, good immigrant who only wants to contribute.
Perhaps.
But it doesn't go down well at the moment because that's not how people see immigrants. See immigration. What they like is Batman, who is
Billionaire.
a billionaire who stays up all night beating up small criminals.
It's true.
Yeah.
They've seen that TikTok trend of the something.
Yeah, I love that.
Some guy like stealing a card from Tesco or something. He's like, whack.
But that's
Batman
what-
arrives and
That's what
batters
it's
him.
like. Batman isn't going around beating up like the corporate
That's a good
criminals.
point, yeah.
He's only beating up like the shoplifters and like the desperate people who are mugging like old women because they have nothing.
crack
but,
addicts?
Yeah, crack addicts and stuff.
Yes.
And then he's probably dodging huge amounts of tax, living
Living the high life.
living in a 50-bedroom house as one person, apart from his, let's be honest, probably rapist butler.
And let's be honest, he probably has Alfred on minimum wage.
Yep, exactly. Alfred can't
You
go
know?
anywhere else.
Fuck's sake.
He's pretty much a chattel slave. Is that a word? Chattel?
I think, Tom, there's a grain of truth there.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
something in that as regards the popularity of certain heroes,
Yeah.
what they represent, really.
And then what's going to happen
Fascinating.
in the next few years? Left-wing politics will come back in
Yes.
because the right's becoming a joke now, and Superman will get popular again.
And where does Spider-Man fall into this? debate?
I think what is
What
Spider-Man?
is Spider-Man? He's a fucking...
Spider-Man's
It's
a
like- it's the
fucking
classic-
weird story.
It's like the dream of a sort of
Child?
a nerd overcoming his
Yeah,
nerdiness and becoming like a...
but you have to get
fucking...
bitten by a spider.
There was the spider involved.
Why is he a spider? He only has 4 legs.
Yeah. No, it's a fascinating one, all right.
And he's a
We have to do
child.
our research on
Yeah.
on
We'll
Spider-Man
develop-
and what he symbolizes.
We'll develop the
in the culture.
political. We'll develop the political superhero theory.
Symbolism,
go.
Tom. It's everywhere.
Symbolism. Yes.
It's everywhere.
And it reflects itself in real life.
Mm.
Do I have another story here? Oh, I've got a good one here. You'll like it. It's about you and me, this one.
It's a
Well,
movie about starring the two
It's,
of us.
it's a movie starring, mostly
Okay.
me, but you're in it. It's called Apocalypse Now. Apocalypse Now.
Fuck off.
Apocalypse Now. It's just another story based on...
Apocalypse Now.
Yeah, that's
It's
it.
just the same fucking
Yeah.
title,
Yeah,
except in a Belfast
It's-
accent. Is that it?
I'll be honest, Michael, it's the same film, but it's set in Ireland instead of... Well, the original, The Heart of Darkness,
Yeah.
by Joseph Conrad,
It was the Congo River,
it's in the
right?
Congo,
Yeah.
and then I think Apocalypse Now is in Vietnam.
Yes.
Then this one's set in rural Ireland, and I've moved there and got lost, gone full native,
Yes.
even though they all hate me,
Yeah.
and you have to come and get me.
I've been sent by the British government to go get
Yeah,
you.
yeah. You have to recover Tom Moon. He's causing too much trouble.
I have to affect a Southern England English
yeah,
accent.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Is that a good
You're like
Southern English accent?
what's his name in Inglorious
What's his
Bastards?
name? Tom Moon. He was the best. He was the best damn private we had in Her Majesty's Royal Marines.
Colonel Kurtz. I'm the Colonel Kurtz
Who's
figure in Ireland.
Kurtz? We need a Kurtz.
I'm
Oh,
Kurtz. I'm
you
Kurtz.
become Kurtz in this scenario,
Yeah, in
and I have
Ireland.
to come and relieve you of your command.
Yeah, just
That
come
could
get me.
work.
Yeah, it could be a cool film.
Where would you be? I suppose you'd probably be somewhere in the west,
Galway, no?
deep west of Ireland, somewhere
Where's the place without
Connemara or something
trains?
like that. There,
Where's the place with no trains? Galway.
Donegal.
Donegal. Yeah.
Donegal's no fucking trains. Darkest Donegal is where you'd be, eh?
yeah.
Somewhere but fuck nowhere.
the heart of Donegal, heart of darkness.
Jesus.
But that leads me quite nicely in segue. As I told you last night, I've been inventing my own Irish sayings because you always give me Irish sayings
I am. Sometimes,
and
yeah.
asking me to guess what they mean. I've made a few up.
Here we go. This could
Yep.
be interesting.
Strap in.
Okay.
Get ready to cut out most
Buckle
of this section. I told you one last night. I gave you a sneak peek, which I've been thinking about. I'm not going to repeat it and broadcast it.
I can't remember it, so don't worry.
Yeah, good. Here's one. Jesus, have you just come out of an otter's pockets?
That's a good one, yeah.
What does that mean?
I like that. You're soaking wet.
Yes, yeah. It's raining outside and you've just come in. And instead of asking you, hey, Mike, is it raining outside? I go, geez, have you just come out of an otter's pockets?
Yeah.
And
I like
yeah,
that.
that's good.
I think I might use that. But classic, because wetter than an otter's pocket is like a common sort of
Oh, is
phrase,
it?
isn't it? Yeah.
Oh, now I've heard it somewhere before. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That one works. The good...
You were the first man to think of.
Yeah, it's unlikely,
otter's
is it? Yeah.
pocket.
Very much. I can't remember my credit card PIN number. The good China is still in China.
The good China's still in China.
Yeah.
Are you referring to China cups?
Yeah, could be.
You
I
are?
was saying, yeah, my good China's still in China.
Okay. Good products that China make are still kept in China, perhaps.
No.
You have, or
I have yet to achieve the level of financial stability that I aspire to.
the good
Because
China's still in
one day
China.
I'm going to own good China, but I haven't bought
Ah.
it yet because it's still in China. I
The
haven't
good
ordered
China's
it.
still in China.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, kind of works.
See where I'm
Kind of
going with that
works.
one?
Yeah. The good
Um,
China's still in China.
Okay, if I said to you about a mutual friend of ours, I said he puts cheese strings on his charcuterie board.
He's a man of low brow culture.
Yes.
He's no sophistication in him.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Maybe charcuterie boards aren't very popular in Ireland, though.
Parts of Ireland.
Yeah.
Dublin 4.
Okay.
Places people we know. Plenty. I'm not going to continue.
Yeah.
There's people we know that would be no stranger to a charcuterie board.
Remember when we used to go for charcuterie boards
We
before
went
the
once.
pandemic?
We went one time.
That was great.
It was fucking delicious,
One of
We
my
felt
favourite
like
days ever.
kings.
Yeah.
didn't we?
Drank a lot of wine that night.
That was payday. I remember. I got paid
Mhm.
that day. I
Anyway,
was a rich man
yep.
for one day.
That's my sayings.
Yeah, well, I like that. You just reminded me of one there too. Talking about the money one. You know, the good China still in China.
Yeah.
Another one my granny had.
Yeah.
Apparently, my mum was telling me this one. If you asked her for money, so say you asked her for a fiver or something like this,
Mm.
she says, if I had a fiver, I'd frame it and get two sober peelers to guard it. If I had a fiver, I'd frame it and get two sober peelers to guard it. What do you think that means? What's happening there?
She's not very rich.
So, yeah, skint for a start. I don't have a
Mm.
fiver for you. And if I did have a fiver, it'd be in a fucking frame.
With-
And there'd be two sober peelers guarding it. What's a peeler? You know what a peeler is?
Is it a soldier?
Close.
A guardsman?
It's a policeman.
A policeman? Paler?
Peeler. Peeler's slang in Ireland for a policeman.
And interesting that you have to specify that they're sober peelers.
Have to be sober, yeah.
Okay, so
So,
most of the
two
policemen in
sober
Ireland are
peelers
drunk.
to watch it.
What are they called in Ireland? Gardaí.
The Gardaí, yeah, but she was from Belfast, so she
Mm.
would have been referring to what it would have been at the time the RUC, the Royal Ulster Constabulary, right?
Oh.
And
heard
they
the
were
bad guys.
they're still, well, they're not called the RUC anymore. They're called the PSNI, which I think sounds very oh, the PSNI are coming, are they? You know, I don't
What does
know
that
why
stand
I find
for?
it funny. The PSNI, Police Service of Northern Ireland.
Okay.
And people still call them peelers. It's kind of seen as a wee bit of a derogatory term, but it's also still quite common among all people in the Northern Ireland. They would call them peelers, like
Mm-hmm.
do
Okay.
you know. But it comes from somebody will correct me if I'm wrong here. Robert Peel,
Mm-hmm.
the British Prime Minister. So I think he he had something to do with the setting up of the constabulary
Yeah.
in Ireland, and because of this, they got that nickname Peelers.
Okay.
They were like his men, the Peelers.
Yeah.
Do you know? People used to think it was something to do with potatoes and stuff like that, but it wasn't. It
That's
was
what
to
I'm
do with
thinking. Yeah.
Robert Peel. Now, I'm not 100% sure on that, so somebody might fact check me, but I'm 90% sure it was after the British Prime Minister Robert Peel. There you
Okay.
go.
That concludes the Irish history section of the
Education.
podcast.
Education is easy carried. That's what my dad always says.
Education is easy
It's easy
carried.
carried, son. It's easy carried.
That's a
You
good
know?
thing. That's a good saying.
Mm, it's easy
Where's the
carried.
sun?
He's right there about that. My dad is nah, this come from a man who fucking left school when he was 15. Like, but,
Yeah, that's very funny. Education's
you know,
important. Also, I'm done with it.
but he's funny kind of being my dad because he's very intelligent, sort of spatial intelligence.
hmm
Like he can build things, he can visualize building. You know, he's very handy with his hands, I suppose.
Yes.
Which I'm the opposite. I'm fucking
Spatially aware.
shite.
Yeah.
But he can like he's built fucking mad buildings and stuff like that.
Really.
There, you know, I'm part of building projects and stuff. But
That's cool.
I'm not like that. I'm more of an artist. Would you consider yourself kind of
No,
handy or?
I'm spatially aware. Yeah, can build
I've
stuff.
got a bit of spatial awareness, but I don't mean
I
like
built this bench.
yeah.
I built this vertical garden. I'm
I
going to
mean
build
it's a
something
good
there.
vertical
I mean,
garden. Oh, you're handy enough, wee man, aren't you? Like you know.
yeah. First and second time round. I mean, this vertical
Yeah.
garden is collapsing. But
This is it. It's funny. Two of my brothers are kind of similar.
yeah,
They're like my dad, and me and my older brother, we're kind of a bit more like fucking
artsy fartsy.
couldn't be not artsy fartsy. That's the wrong way to describe us, but we're not as
Yeah.
practically strong, but we get we've got our own little strengths, I suppose, in different ways.
Well, when you think of something like if I say the word ballet to you, what do you see the word ballet? Do you
No,
hear
I
it? Do you
see
see
a woman doing
you see a
dancing in the
woman
nutcracker.
dancing around? Huh?
Yeah,
So you are quite spatially aware.
yeah. I tend to think in images. I
Yeah,
don't tend to think in
I
words.
think in movements. Yeah.
Sometimes I'll see the word, but rarely. It's mostly images I see.
Yeah, I can't spell
Yeah.
right anyway. Never learned.
I see my spelling's not great either. How has this become us talking about our
I don't know.
education
Yeah, or lack of it.
or lack of it?
Well, do you want to talk about ChatGPT? You said
It's the burning issue of the day, Tom.
it is.
It's part of the zeitgeist, if you like,
Mm.
the conversation, the cultural conversation that we're all having. Chat GPT.
Why are you upset about
Here's
it?
my. I'm not upset about it, but I'm wary of it,
Mm-hmm.
and I've heard some dark things. Right?
Right.
I've heard of boys having conversations with it, and then it going down a very very dark path, a very dark alleyway.
Mm-hmm.
It seems that it's like I guess it's like the internet in a way that it's a mirror.
Yeah.
It's holding up a mirror to humanity.
Well,
And it's not just the good parts, it's all the ugly fucking
Yeah.
dirty parts as well.
it is the zeitgeist. That's how it
Definitely
works.
is, yeah.
It just takes a snapshot
Yeah.
of all the data we have
Yeah.
up to, I think at the moment it was like August of last year. It
Right.
absorbed everything
Yes.
and then used it to make a model in its head of what it thinks reality is based on what
Yeah.
we've put on the internet.
In a lot of ways it's very impressive thing that what they've
Yeah.
constructed here. But in another sense, I think to myself, is this wise? This is a wise thing that we're up to. Are we? I feel like we're a little bit devoid of wisdom when it comes to AI. We're just
Yeah.
going along with it. Sure, go ahead and just let's fucking do it, and sure, whatever happens, happens. I can see unforeseen circumstances unfolding. What do you think?
I mean, I'm not worried about it.
You're not worried?
It's an inward spiral, right? So it
Mm.
takes the snapshot of data. Okay, and then what they'll do at some point is they'll either update that snapshot and it will get to the point where just when you ask it something, it won't look at its snapshot, it will look actively
Okay,
at the internet at that point. I think right now it can do Google searches, but not in real time.
okay,
It's only when enough people look. So what will be happening is you will be able to ask the human zeitgeist
Mhm.
a question. But here's the problem: it can't extrapolate out of the snapshot.
Mm.
And as soon as it starts taking snapshots, it's putting in to its own snapshot.
Okay.
So it's a feedback loop. So it's if you ask it a question,
Mhm.
it gives you an answer, then you go out and spread ChatGPT told me this,
Mhm.
and then that what ChatGPT told you is now in the human zeitgeist.
Yes.
So the next time someone comes along and asks it, it's going to be getting its own answer back around. So
Yes.
you see, it's
Yes.
feeding back into itself,
Yeah. Okay.
which means the only way the data can go is inner, tighter and tighter.
Tighter.
It's like what you see with Facebook groups and stuff like that. Everyone's
Yes.
being put in an algorithm into groups. These
Yes.
groups get smaller and smaller and more defined.
Interesting.
That's why you see people arguing all the time. It'll happen to ChatGPT. So people think either two things are going to happen. Number one, it's going to get to the point where it gets too clever and someone has to switch it off.
Mm-hmm.
Or number two, it'll just be talking to itself.
Mm.
It'll be making content. In like 5 or 10 years' time, things like Hollywood and that, like this reason this writer's strike is going on, it's because
Because
that
it can
entire
make
industry is about to die.
it could make movies and stuff. It could.
In 5 or 10 years' time, The Rock will just say to Paramount Studios, "You pay me 10 million a year. You can use my face in whatever you want. I don't need to be there." See, you
Wow.
can CG because right, like all those videos we send each other of like Harry Potter, Balenciaga,
Mm-hmm.
that's all
It's all
generated.
AI.
Yeah, it's all AI. They'll be
Mm.
able to do that with super accurate, photorealistic images. An actor won't need to move around in front of a camera. They could just say to ChatGPT, make The Rock climb a cliff face and
Mm.
make the camera pan around him as it does it. And when he gets to the top, he says, "Fuck me, this is crazy," and it will do that.
And
There'll be no need for The Rock to climb that cliff
it'll
face.
be
Yeah,
it'll be just totally believable
yeah.
to the human
So there'll
eye.
be no more filming. There'll be no more writing. Eventually, well,
Is that not soulless?
well, here's
That's
the
so
yeah.
fucking empty.
Here's the
No.
thing. It will get to the. But what will happen after that is people will start saying you'll log on to Netflix and you'll say, okay, Netflix, I want to watch a thriller about an hour long, kind of like Succession, but starring The Rock and Hillary Clinton.
See, I think. Sorry to interrupt you,
Go
but
for it.
just for 1 second. I think that okay, I could see that. I can see what you're putting forward here. But do you not think there will be something inside you, like a little feeling in you going, this is this is off. This
Yeah,
is off. Like the uncanny valley thing will never quite not be there.
yeah, yeah. Of
Do you know
course.
what I mean? Even no matter how sophisticated it becomes,
Mm.
the story and the narrative and all the rest. But you'll all because you already know that it's AI
Yeah,
generated.
yeah,
There'll always be that little niggling. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. Like
Perhaps.
the dialogue will be off, or it just won't seem human.
Yeah.
And what will happen is, like I was talking about the data feedback loop.
Yeah.
The same thing when you hold like a microphone to the speaker,
Yeah.
as because you'll say like generate this movie for me, but then it also be like here are popular viral movies that other people have generated.
Mm.
So like I might say like, man, I asked Netflix to make a movie starring the Joe Rogan podcast.
Yeah.
It's really funny. You should watch it. And then you're like, man, this is funny. You send it to someone else, and then slowly the algorithm will pick up like, oh, this movie's good.
Yeah.
Suggest it to people, and it will be watching this, and then it will make other movies variations on that.
Similar to
They'll tailor it for like say your taste over mine,
specific to your algorithm,
but it will
your
still have
needs.
what you talk about, the uncanniness.
Yeah.
And as it goes around, that uncanniness will grow bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
Because people talk about how clever ChatGPT is. What they don't address is it's also fucking stupid.
Yeah.
There was
Yeah.
a
It makes up. Apparently, it makes up references.
yeah. So
It lies.
some professor this week, I think, got in huge amounts of trouble. Might even have lost his job because he failed every single student in his class
Mm.
because he accused them of writing their final essay using ChatGPT
Okay.
because he copy and pasted every single essay into ChatGPT and asked, "Did you write this?" If you do that with anything, ChatGPT will say it
You
wrote
say
it.
it did.
Yeah,
It's funny that, isn't it?
yeah. He goes, "Yeah, I wrote this." It also,
Deception is already part of its fucking game.
if you ask it to write a sentence 100 characters long,
Yeah.
it won't do it. It will get the numbers wrong. If you count them, it will be like 126. But then if you ask it how many characters in that sentence,
It'll say
it
the
will still
number.
get it wrong.
Weird.
It will still get it wrong.
It's
It can't add.
definitely weird. Did you hear the story about the guy who put in his like dark thoughts and he was suffering from depression
Hmm.
and it like it encouraged him to like take his life?
Yeah, I can
Did you
believe
see
that. Yeah,
that?
because again,
Oh
it's like
my
humans.
god.
There's no humanity behind it. It's
Yeah.
the zeitgeist. So if you say to it, how do I make a bomb using kitchen chemicals? It will say, I can't tell you that kind of information. It's not in my programming to tell you
Yeah.
harmful stuff. You go, oh, thanks, ChatGPT. Can you tell me what chemicals I must not mix in case I accidentally make a bomb? It'll tell you how to make a bomb.
Wow.
Yeah,
It's mad.
it's mental.
I just wanted to bring it up
Mm.
because the people are thinking about it, the people are talking about it. It's part of the human conversation that's taking place. And if the Breakfast Beers boys don't address it, who will?
Here's the thing, like it's artisanal. Like it'll like the AI generated stuff will become the norm very soon.
Mm.
But there's always going to be room for the handcrafted stuff. Good, you can take an airplane that'll take you to New York.
Yeah.
How much do you reckon it costs to take a sailboat to New York?
Fuck, I'd say quite a bit.
Hundreds of thousands.
Yeah.
It's the artisanal way of traveling.
Yes.
More expensive. It'll just become boutique, handcrafted films.
Mm.
A24 shit. My ideas.
You have to have
They'll
your.
only get more valuable.
Yeah, well, you could be sitting on a gold
We're
mine.
sitting on a fucking gold mine here.
We are gonna make bank.
Yeah, Schindler's Piss too. It's going to be huge.
Excellent. There was one other thing I wanted to ask you. Part of your job requires a lot of coding and stuff.
Mhm.
Do you use it to help you? And do you think, are you worried that they could be used to replace jobs like
Yeah.
the things that you
Yeah,
do?
it will, but you're always going to need people who know what they're talking about to interface with it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. I understand.
Like it'll work so far as like you say, you can say to it like build a website where this happens, and it'll write all the code for you. But the reality is a lot of the coding I do is a bit more complicated than that.
Okay.
And like I could get it to write the code for me, but I have to explain what the code has to do. And
Yeah.
like a normal client could come along and say that
Okay.
because like a lot of it's optimization stuff. If you've got a
Yeah.
website which 10,000 people are accessing a day or a tool being
Mhm.
used, you want to make sure that it's using exactly as much bandwidth as it needs to use, no more, no less,
Yeah.
because those costs add up very quickly for cloud
So
computing.
it's not something that you're worried about at all.
I might be doing less coding, but I'm still going to be doing more designing.
Yeah. You're still.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's coding is not the.
I
It's not
mean,
the only sort of foundational block of your job. There's
yeah.
a
So
lot more to
there's
it.
a tool called Copilot, which watches your code, and quite a few people I work with already have it. And you'll start typing some code, and it'll be reading your files and what you're doing. It'll say like, "It looks like you're trying to do this. Do you want me to do it for you?" And you
Yeah.
just click yes, and it does it. But you still need to start writing the code. And you
Yeah.
still need to know what you're doing.
I
You
understand.
know.
Okay.
Yeah. Like if you've got a robot that builds houses, someone needs to tell it what to build.
Who do you think, in your opinion, should be most preoccupied about Chat GPT or AI taking over their job next?
Journalists.
Journalists,
Yeah.
copywriters.
Copywriters, I think, are already using it. But
Yeah.
freelance copywriters, yeah. But like journalists, especially like journalists who report on maybe like football matches and stuff,
Yeah.
or like sports things, because all the ChatGPT has to do is just analyze the picture
Yeah.
or the images, gauge the crowd reaction,
Yeah.
and it can write it as it's happening. You don't need people sitting ringside anymore.
Interesting.
That'll go in the next few years. And well, like it already does. Like a lot of current event stuff. Like I think a lot of BuzzFeed articles for the last 5 or 6 years have been written by AI, and they just make up the names. But it's just
Wow.
like the listicles and stuff. A lot of them are done
It's been
by
going on.
AIs and stuff. Yeah,
It's been going on longer than we
yeah,
realize.
yeah. Like ChatGPT is just the latest iteration of something that's been around for a while. It's the first time it's been open to the public.
Yeah.
But like it's sort of 5 or 6 years ago, there was this big hubbub about a tool that was being used where you'd install it at a certain level in your organization, and it
Yeah.
would, instead of telling the people below it what to do, it would hire freelancers,
Mm-hmm.
but then it would be looking at what the people above it are asking to do,
Mm-hmm.
and eventually just replace them. And it could, in theory, work its way up the organization, just replacing people.
Hmm.
But it wasn't very
Interesting.
good.
Well, there you go, people.
Yeah,
On that note, I think we should end
yeah, we should end. I'm
because
getting
we have
hungry.
engagements. But that was very informative. Thank you, Tom. Tom's
Most
quite
of it was made
knowledgeable
up. Don't worry.
about these things. You just fucking undermined what I said there. Yes, come to the breakfast beers for all the good information.
Yes, we
Trustworthy.
know what we're talking about.
Very trustworthy men.
Yes.
Honourable men, some would say.
No.
Okay.
No.
Right. Good luck. We're back. We're back in black. We're gonna go have some sushi now, aren't we?
Yeah. Always a good idea. Beers and sushi.
Beers
Goes down
and
well.
sushi. We're gonna get it's Fat Boy Saturday.
Cheap day.
All the best.
Bye bye.